I'm good for 1 hour. Had to go and take care of a few things this evening. See, we got anybody coming through? Probably not. I don't know. People holding it against me tonight. Trying to read this real quick. Reading this. Reading this. Hmm. What's up? What's happening? Just coming on. I'm here for 1 hour tonight. What's up? How you doing? How you doing? What's up? Isaiah, Isaiah. Isaiah, which one, Isaiah? Isaiah. Isaiah. Oh, yeah. Okay, okay. I had to remember. I'm thinking about Isaiah Thomas. Forgive me. I'm having black man moments. So only Isaiah I think of is Zeke. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Well, you recommended, though. Yeah. Well, you recommended. You know. You know. Yeah. Well, I did it because you had mentioned it. I don't really. I don't really talk about that. I said that in my video. I talked about that in my video. You got to win that game. That's on Rick Carlisle. He did. Yep. I talked about it. That's on Rick Carlisle. He, you know, see, they did that in the New York series. And it's like you didn't learn, you know, who had 30 to 10. Because I didn't keep it with those stats. Who was 30 to 10 in foul shots? Who was? Who was 30 to 10 in foul shots? Because I didn't keep up with that part. Oh, well, see, it don't matter though. It don't matter because if the Pacers control the tempo, the Celtics are gonna get shot. That's the problem. I mean, Jalen Brown had to hit an acrobatic shot just to send it in overtime anyway. But yeah. Back in the day. but they did, you know. Yeah, cause she got this so bad. Who gonna get beat 5 in a row? Yeah, I like the Jasmine Crockett video. I like that a lot. Okay. Who gonna get beat 5 in a row? Okay, Israel. I got that. Well, yeah, cause she got dissed in a way she couldn't imagine that. Cause no one really comes at her like that. Why they don't, I don't know. I don't know. They can win. They can win. It's a winnable series because this the thing. They can score. They just don't play smart. That's all. I got I got Minnesota. I got Minnesota. I mean, I'm pulling for Minnesota to win, so I want them to beat Dallas. And I'm not a big Dallas fan. I'm not. And look, I know Luca got skills, but I'm just not. You know, I'm not. I would love to see Minnesota go and do it. That would be fun. For me, that would be fun. Luca, but not no Hardaway Jr. And don't slide that one in there. What about Kyrie? Well, you up there hating on Kyrie? You know Kyrie's the next most important player. Nobody talk about no Tim Hardaway Jr. That's funny. I don't know about that. Ted, you got to tell me a story about you and Tim Hardaway Jr. Did he hook you up with Derek Fisher's Black Book or something? Why you give Tim Hardaway Jr. all this love? Because there got to be a story behind it. Oh, he can be stopped. He had that game with 9 points. In case you forgot, he had a 9 pointer against OKC. He can be stopped. He ain't invincible. He's had some duds. He's had some duds. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Now I've been wondering why all this Tim Hardaway Jr. love. I was waiting for the story. I like Kyrie. I sometimes what's happening. Sometimes with me and Kyrie's, I think he kind of underachieved. Sometimes I think he's underachieved though. Talent is one thing. I'm gonna tell you a story. Jamal Murray, you can make the case, has been almost as impactful in the postseason as Kyrie Irving, and you wouldn't be wrong. Have you seen Jamal Murray's postseason game? Jamal can score like Kyrie can. He may not have the handles, but he can score and he can go off. And then, as a matter of fact, Jamal can be problematic because his outside shot can, when he gets cooking, he hits crazy shots. He can shoot. So I don't know if I'm going to sit there and act like, oh, well, first of all, he's the one who said his son was better than most of the guys he saw on NBA TV. So that wasn't them. I'm gonna make a video out of that. Thank you. Really? He need to shut up. He really needs to shut up. He sounds so pathetic. Yeah, but I'm telling you, Jamal Murray's a big time postseason player. He's still a kid. I mean, you're grown in age, but you're still a kid in terms of where you are in your life. I mean, 19 is the grown, but you still like a kid. You know what I mean? I mean, you can still. But he is privileged though. But he dealt with a life or death situation. I do respect Bronny from that, but he ain't NBA ready. And that's just the fact. Chet could have. Could have. I mean, he had some moments, you know. Um, I like Chad, but Chad needs some uh, you know, I like I like I like Chad, but I don't know about, mm, Bronny good for like probably for like a maybe for like a junior college, but he didn't do much in SC. He can run, yeah, but he ain't gonna be NBA ready either. You need some seasoning. What's happening? You need some seasoning before you can step on the court. See, LeBron brought that heat on his son. He brought that heat on his son. He's the one who went out there and talked about, oh, he better than these guys I see on League Pass and all this mess. He's the one who brought that heat. Can't be saying stuff like that. You got grown men who are making a living playing ball, and you're a kid who was playing with one of the greatest players ever, but no, they don't. Because he will be waiting 4 or 5 years before he gets a chance. That's contradictory. That's crackhead talk. Thank you, Ted. That's another video. That's crackhead talk. He said that mess. He sound like a crackhead. I'm gonna tell you why he sound like a crackhead. Because if it's good, players getting paid, how they ruin? That's the payment that these college players get. They get like endorsements. They get merch, and so they doing what they Booster's been paying college players anyway, but that's another story, another video. But he did. He sound like a crackhead. Well, college is basically an institution. Is a basically a slave quarters for the pros. That's basically the best way to tell you, OJ. As a matter of fact, you should look up OJ Simpson when he was in SC. Then you'd understand how important college was to, because if you play for a big school, especially college football, with all the bowl money that they get, Ted knows they'll have like the tomato can bowl, the Pepsi Cola bowl, the Fruit of the Loom bowl, and be making $10 million, and the team wins 6 games. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. They got bowl games. Yep, toilet bowl. That's gonna be like $12 million. And as long as you win 6 games, you get a bowl. It's like Oprah in a car. And they got the nerve to get all that commercial endorsement and all that other stuff, and them cats don't get no money. And you get hurt and you could be done. You could be done. So it's important. And everybody ain't meant to go pro, no way. But you should get some merch. Should definitely get some money in your pockets. But they've been getting over on cats. They still get over on the jerseys. Now they sell all them Caitlin Clarks and Angel Reese jerseys. That's a fact. So, you know, what's happening. They'll get another chance. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be settled out of court. So I don't know. If the boy can walk, he got 4 good toes, they'll settle out of court. The Pacers will get another chance because it's the Celtics. The Celtics always give you chances. The Celtics was trying to get a game back last night. It's just the Pacers too dumb to finish it up. I mean, you are playing the Celtics. It's not like you're playing against a team that can put you away. Dumb turnovers at that. They were dumb turnovers. Stupid turnovers. I mean, just crackhead turnovers. That's how I looked at the Pacers. That was an embarrassing loss last night. Yeah, and that's why he's in Saudi Arabia right now too. Thank you. You know where he plays, so that's why he ain't gonna never get out of there. Oh, about the Pacers? Oh, they can win. They didn't get beat. They beat themselves. That's worse. But they can beat Boston. If they pound the pavement, play inside in tempo, they can beat them. Boston don't. Boston is like one of the most carefree teams I've ever seen. Well, I don't know about that. Jordan ain't really got much of a say on that team. It shows. It really shows. He ain't got no say on that team. So I take your word on that one. Well, they just blew a game that I can't find. You know. I really don't pay that no attention though. Cause LaMelo and Jordan, I mean, come on now. They got talent there, but what are they? What are they? 28 win team? Come on now. It wasn't even a steal game. It was a win game. Steal game is what Boston did. See, and I gotta tell you, that's the difference. It ain't gonna make no difference because he won't. I think they can still. Indiana can still got a chance. Indiana it matches up nicely for scoring. They just gotta play smart and don't be stupid. They can still win the series. As far as Puffy, mm, that's not no real boom. That wasn't his boom. That boom was that videotape. That was the boom. He didn't see that one coming. I expect all these people to come out the woodworks, lawsuits. That's par for the core. That's not a boom. The boom was that videotape. That was the boom. Jonathan Majors didn't get no real time though. And the thing about it with the Puffy thing is that all that would be a lawsuit. She'd have to prove it. I don't think it's gonna stick. I don't think it's gonna stick. I don't think it's gonna stick. And if it does stick, Jonathan Majors thing, um, didn't really work against him because they didn't really get they took everything away from him, but it didn't really like, it was a little bit different. His is a little bit different. Let me read this. I'm not your daddy, and I don't know who you is, so I'm to take you out of here with that mess. Do you consider Carter as how they do the rules? Okay. I don't think his handles are better than uh I think Isaiah Thomas had great handles, underrated. I think Steph's got great handles, underrated. I think if we're talking NBA or just ever, because Curly Neal had the best handles I ever saw. Curly Neal from the Globetrotters had the best handles. NBA, Pistol Pete had crazy handles. Kyrie's movement is great with what he does. He's got incredible movement. Jonathan is a real interesting case. The Star Wars, as far as being an action hero and all that, he gonna be Blank Man. If you ever seen Blank Man, that's part of what he'll end up doing. It'll be like a brother Blank, be like a brother hero. Won't be no for no white folks hero. Um, just saying. Be like Blank Man. So I hope that answers your question. He'll still get work, but they gonna make him have to crawl on all fours. And and it don't be Puffy party, it be somebody's party. That's the only way he get back in. Yeah, but Blank Man was not the same as doing what he was doing. You doing Marvel heroes or you doing Blank Man, there's a difference. There's a difference. You know. There's a difference when you have a mop and glow or you take your granny's mop and you start singing like it's a microphone. Yeah, or Terry Crews party. AI or Kyrie? AI. AI. Kyrie a better shooter though. There's a few things I give him, but not a lot. Yeah, you gotta go to somebody's party. Hmm. And Jonathan did try to be what I saw the Ebony magazine. He definitely tried to be they and them and that friendly, but I don't know. Something, you know. I mean, if they think they can still get some value, they'll have to let him kind of play out. And what do you end up doing? He'll probably be like what Wesley does now, play some low budget and build him back up. But I can't imagine that it'll be like it was because he was in his peak in his prime now. When you are an actor and you're getting top tier roles, action heroes, all that, you only 25 once. So barring some major role that kicks you when you're 30, 35, yeah, but you get old quick when you're black if you don't hit that money. Let me tell you something. I know you're gonna look at Kevin Hart and it's a different style of acting, but peak and prime is peak and prime. Eddie Murphy was peaking prime. You can have hits when you're older, but ain't nothing like them hits when you're in your 20s. I mean, Tom Cruise hits ain't quite they what he did in his 20s is what caught the power for what he's doing now. And of course he had a long run. It's only a handful of cats that get that, and especially when you're black. I'm trying to tell you something. There's a difference between being actors and craftsmanship and that. And when you're action hero, it's a small window. Well, who you consider a buck dancer? That's all, and then I'll answer that question the best way I know. Give me a name and I'll tell you. Give me an old buck dancer and I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Well, he was limited anyway. Okay, let me address one at a time. Cuba was cooning and tapping, but all his roles were kind of like the same. So basically, if he had any depth in him, he would have gotten some of Terrence Howard's roles. He didn't have no depth. So basically, he pretty much played a certain role, and that was it. And they stopped messing with him. So when he did the OJ thing, that was corny. Well, see, first of all, I'm going to address that with Chris Rock. Chris Rock was never that dude. Even though CB4 and all that was out, he never had a legit box office career. So he wasn't trying to impress cross. He was pre Kevin Hart, but folks just didn't buy his movies. He never had to hit. He didn't hit like Chappelle. He didn't hit like Martin Lawrence or Chris Tucker. So he was a stage cat. He admitted it. It wasn't until that Longest Yard movie that he actually had a box office hit. And they put him in with Sandler and all that. So, okay, out of these, okay, let me go on this. Let me answer one at a time. Out of these PGs, who would you take out for Tony Parker? Oh God. Who would I take out for Tony Parker? Probably take Pistol Pete out because Pistol Pete didn't have the kind of success that those other guys did. Not his NBA career, and I loved him too. Oh, of course I'd take Parker over Dame or Russ. Come on now. Track record speaks for it. He had moments. Chris Rock had moments, but he never captured what he did on stage. If you watch Bigger and Deaf or Black and Deaf, when he did his 97, 98, when he was, his live stage, he never was bigger, but he didn't connect on the big screen. He didn't connect on the big screen. Successful TV show, but it wasn't because of him being in it. We talking box office at the movies. We ain't talking about TV. He was trying to be following Eddie Murphy. That was the blueprint for him, and it didn't hit. It didn't hit. You know, see, that's why he doesn't get the same shine as Kevin Hart. However you feel about Kevin Hart or Chris Tucker, or you can mention a lot of them. A lot of black comedians, even a sidekick cat like Cedric the Entertainer, then hit more harder than Chris Rock did. Okay, and Cedric is a sidekick to a sidekick, but he has more credibility in his film game. That's just the facts. I spit the facts. You want to talk about actual and factual? That's actual and factual. Steve Harvey got more box office clout because of Think Like a Man and ran that thing and had some success. No one really jobbed with Chris Rock movies. Tried him, just didn't really connect. You know, I like Pootie Tang, but but he old now. and probably at the messing with his granddaughter-in-law or half granddaughter. They probably, but they ain't got nothing on him, no. He just ain't bringing no money to the master, that's all. He was a great actor, though. You know what? I try not to talk about that buffoon. Craig Charles. Who's Craig Charles? Not correlating Craig Charles. No, I don't really mess with Marlon. White chicks and all that. No, I don't know. But what I will do is find out who the heck you talking about. He should be. Okay, I just seen it now.
Run like water, a very beautiful.
He's a DJ. Watching him right now. Okay. I see him. Well, they want JJ Reddick. If they telling people that they think he the second coming of Pat Riley, they're not gonna hire Rondo. I was gonna do a video about that, and I agree. He's probably the only one they can get assets for. Okay, that's cool. I think that the MPG, because he's young, and I said broke Clay, but they can do, if Rudy Gobert can get all that, they can, you know. I think that they might have to consider that because that's what they're flawed in that area. I told you that's why they lost. They were flat. They need a cherry picker score. They don't have a real legit third option. And it showed. It showed. That's why if you're a Laker fan, you should be really upset with yourself because you could have taken them 6, 7 games. They had no business. They looked flat against the Lakers. They can get 4 players for him if they play it right and they go to the right type of team. They got to get guys who can be versatile. You can get a lot for him. If they're trying to get Jokic some jewelry, they make that trade. If they think they're gonna be stay pat and complacent, they're not. They're gonna get exposed again. Yeah, he's one of those kind of guys that he's. When I said broke Clay, that's what I meant because he broke version of Clay, Junior Whopper Clay, and I ain't just talking about the light skin. He can hit some shots, and let me tell you something. When he's on, he got something, but he just get fragile, and he's athletic, but he doesn't really go nowhere with it. It's like, come on, man, it's like you're in a state of shock. So to me, I thought if they were going to win, I'm taking. What do you mean? Who am I taking out of who and what? No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. And no, I don't want MPJ on the Heat. So don't even try to make that deal. Taking the Timberwolves to win. That's what I like to see. No, that wouldn't work. Jimmy Butler ain't a consistent scorer and he get hurt too much. And it's not, let me tell you something. It's not toughness that the Nuggets is lacking. They need offense. That's not their problem. They can make adjustments on defense. They get back. First of all, They're the anti Golden State Warriors because they actually get physical with you and wear you down. It's not because they are some bombards or 3 pointers. They wear you down. They get back in games. But they need, if I had to pick one shooter to save the universe and it depended on one guy, probably Larry Bird. All due respect to Steph, but Larry Bird still, that guy, when he was on, he was on. Bird came up too big. Jimmy Butler would only work with the Nuggets if we're playing 90-0 basketball, or the Nuggets were more of a defensive juggernaut. There you go. They don't really missing a lot to get to where they got. It's just that you got to have a guy that complements what you're doing. Jimmy would be more effective off the bench for them, though. I'll tell you that. Upgrade over Bruce Brown. But they need a score. And Jimmy would have to be willing to score about 15 points a game. He ain't going to go there and place no 15 points. They need somebody that can score 20. They need Jimmy to go 12 to 15. There's a difference. They need a cat that can score 20 to 24. They need a Jimmy to do 12 to 15. He ain't going to go for that. That's the only way that would work in Denver. So he was a bad dude. Yeah, that might make him more aggro, but the problem is they still gotta have the right receiver. They gotta have the right form playing for him. They gotta not make him be predictable. That's what happened in the AFC Championship game. He got back there, and all he ended up doing was trying to be a one trick type of pony of the quarterback. So he got limited, and Kansas City picked up on it. They took him out of his game. You know, forced him into some turnovers, and you know, white chocolate. He was solid. He was very good. Very good. He had handles. My favorite thing that he would do is that drive at the top of the key. He go left, and that was his thing when he go to the hole. That's the one move he had. He'd leave you hanging at the top. But sometimes when he try to play cute, he get loose, and sometimes that's what got him in trouble. You know, sometimes he didn't know how to differentiate, and it caught up with him. That's my only knock against him. And I just think that he didn't really play basketball either, because I think that he spent too much time trying to and one and put on the show. And so I had a problem with how he played. Well, he liked him because that was the first time he played with a point guard that actually hit him on the spot. But I don't know if he would have liked him if he had to play with him for his prime and peak, though. Because he turned the ball over a lot. That's why they went and got Mike Bibby and Bobby Jackson and got rid of him. That's why Rick Alderman got rid of him. There you go. Sacramento, he looked good, but when he looked bad, he looked bad. And that's why he got let go. And he sometimes became more of a highlight reel than actually playing team ball. I can believe it. That's what Rondo said about him too. He cries a lot. He cried a lot. Now, even though I rank him in top 10 point guards ever, I'm not a big CP3 fan. So just so we get that straight. I mean, and if he won something, they would have him slurped by number 4 or 3. They slurp him more than I do. I never got what Charles Barkley said he was the best leader in NBA. He let a lot of coaches down. I don't know if he got bought and paid off in the playoffs, but he just didn't bring it. I'm taking Tony Parker. Um, Let me think about that for a moment. Let me think. Mm, Hmm. The 1-2 punch, I can make an argument, but that Seattle Sonic team in '94, I can make a strong case for too. That lost to Denver in the first round, and they were 60+ win team. Uh oh, the '93 Suns were better than the '96 Sonics to me. Sonics did win 2 games in the series, just like Phoenix, but I don't think the Sonics really were really that wasn't the same level that Phoenix had. As great as Sean Kemp played, Charles Barkley to me was better. And he wasn't even the Sixer version of himself, but he was better to me. So maybe that Utah team, part of me wants to say the 1992 Trailblazers too could make a case. Um, a lot of them Laker teams that lost to the Celtics before Wilt beat them, before they won their ring, you can make a case for. It's some strong, compelling arguments. Because Elgin Baylor never won a ring, and I can't think. All due respect to Karl Malone, when you got Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, and Will Chamberlain, you didn't win. I mean, that's a heck of a squad. But maybe Utah by default. I'm trying to think hard. Probably. But that '93 Suns team. So I could probably say that '98 Utah team, '93 Suns team, '96 Sonics. I can make a case. I can make a case. '93 Knicks. Come on now. I'm a Heat fan, but I ain't gonna say nothing crazy like that. The Heat got smashed by the Bulls. The '93 Knicks team was actually better. So nah, they had talent, but they weren't ready. They were wet between the ears. They weren't ready. I remember that regular season game against the Bulls. They got manhandled. Shaq was raw, playing great, but they weren't ready. That's why Phil had to come and trim the fat. It didn't work. But Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones, Kobe, and Shaq, it didn't work. It was too much of the same. And Eldon Cantwell, it didn't work. Of those guys, ooh, that's a good one. I'm going to say probably in the order you got it. Carmelo, Charles, Dirk, Giannis is right there, and then KG. That's the order. I would rank them just like that. Yeah, there you go. Carmelo because the stats and he worked himself better and everything. Charles Barkley was incredible talent, and if he had have done his thing, I got to give Carl the edge over Barkley. He stayed better on his game. Barkley didn't take care of it. He didn't go on with it. Dirk was something else. Giannis, we're gonna see how it plays out, and of course KG would be last. Pick and roll tore their butt up, and they were lighting the cakes at the time. And Kobe was a pup, didn't have no juice in his arms, and so that was growing pains. And Utah was physical. They took you out your sweet spots. They hit you. They got with you. So the Lakers weren't even close to being ready at that time. They were flash and dash. If we talking about glitz and glam, I'm taking Barkley. But if we talking about the guy who put in the work and got better over time and just and made more of a statement, it's Carmelo. Nick had a quick hustle move and he could shoot and pick and pop, and he had some moments with the Dallas Mavericks, but he was too flashy. He was too flashy, and that's why Fish came in better. Yeah, Eddie Jones was the guy who showed. I know him and Kobe went at it in practice. Eddie's problem is that he just didn't have the next level to him. He just didn't have that shine to add more to his offensive repertoire. Because he'd have been kind of like a low budget Scottie Pippen if you think about it. Eddie could defend, but he didn't add to his offensive repertoire. But I liked Eddie though. He did. And under normal circumstances, he would have been starting for some teams because he was good. He was a good player, man. But he didn't have no pizzazz. Yeah, and that's good. But when you get a cat that can score 28, what do you think you're gonna do? Just saying. His defense was on point, but he got hurt and he kind of fell out of flavor. But I did like Eddie though. But I knew he was not for long when Kobe emerged. And like Curtis Blow said, them's the breaks. Adrian Danley. Not even close. Rice was a great outside shooter and strong and muscular, but AD controlled tempo better. AD was like a freak of nature inside 12 feet and inside. Not even close. AD is also one of the greatest players ever. I don't look at Glenn Rice quite like that. I like Glenn Rice, obviously Michigan cat and all. I like his game, but AD was something else. AD was a beast. Well, Shaq left, and that was pretty much it. And Shaq had to feel like he was embarrassed. He was a very good role player, but his wife got in the way. She started telling Phil Jackson how to run him, and that's what ran him up out of there. They were a great team, and he would have been a straight fit. So that was one of the things that happened. There was some conflict of interest. So he had to go. No, that was his. That was his college booty buddy. I don't think so. I disagree. 2001 only lost one playoff game. How you figure? They were a more dangerous team a year later. There was no struggling with no Portland Trailblazers or Sacramento in 2001. I don't know what you're watching. Shaq was just equally crazy in the postseason. I know all the old gossip. What do you mean? Do tell. Pertaining. Oh, you talking about? Well, no, because they were in college together. Yeah, it's just. Well, I'll tell you like this, Ted. If you cover sports, music, movies like I do, and watch stuff, you hear these figures who. I came along in a time when sports and other factors kind of like ran neck and neck with each other. So yeah, I used to hear things. That's why I don't be believing these celebrities when they talk about they didn't know nothing about this person, that person. They'll call cap on that. Cap all day. Because if I heard it, you heard it. Yeah, they messed around. He was sniggling about it, and Sarah Palin was sniggling. Sarah Palin was a bad looking chick. She just dumb as all get out. So was the daughter too. The most they 304 all the way. On milk toasty, messing with old sourdough. I didn't mess with old sourdough, but you was messing with Hershey chocolate and you end up sourdough. Crack me up. See, if Palin had Hillary Clinton's brain, she'd have been president. Just saying. But yeah, she ain't gonna mess around. She's dumb, that's why. No, she's not as bad, but she also a dummy though. And I ain't gonna lie, being a governor of Alaska ain't exactly like a hotbed, so we don't really took you too serious. She was just corny. One of them Karens who really want to be a freak though. Really a freak. Really a freak. Just like her daughter's a freak. Just telling you. Oh, yeah. Uh, Culver because he was more consistent, but I like Pager better. Only when Turkoglu was on the juice would I say him. Without the juice, no. But Carl Culver was nice though. But I like Pager the best of the three. But Culver is cool. I like Culver personally. Pager could shoot, but I think Culver. That's kind of tricky though. I never get asked about them three. That's interesting. That's an interesting threesome there. But anyway, yeah, I mean, yeah, Ted, if you, certain circles, you hear things and, you know, it's just that on time when conversation comes up. Oh, his wife was nice looking. His wife didn't look like Sarah at all. But she got into the, none of them. She got into it when, with Phil, she was saying some, and then next thing I know, he was cut. None. Only one I would say would be Bill Cartwright. Cartwright, the only one that could be considered a real sinner, because them other white boys, them turkeys, you couldn't give them away. They were just some cats that sat on you, and I mean, come on now. Will Purdue, Luke Longley, and what's the other one? Bill Winningham. I mean, come on, that's some bad rascals right there. That's three pence. That's three getting pent cats. But in the field system, oh yeah, and let me forget about the light skinned brother who drowned, because Scott Williams, because he was good, but only good in the Chicago Bulls situation. Again, that's another situation where only because Cats played in that system. Only Cartwright could really have made it without that system. So, because let me tell you a story. Rodman was considered bad news. He was in David Stern's doghouse. He was a problem child, and so he was considered malcontent attitude. That's why they got him for next to nothing. Oh, you got to understand something. If a guy's considered a problem, you can get some crazy deals. They used to do that all the time in the 90s. You're not going to be privy to that. In a twisted way, but not really. Because he was just considered just, yeah, it was like he was like Iverson, but the flip, but it wasn't like Iverson. You know, it's just crazy when you say that because he was just too defiant. Well, too black basically means that you're never going to get white acceptance. I mean, like they look at you like, I'll give you a musical example. If you ever heard of Frankie Beverly and Maze, got hits, but no crossover. You got no crossover. And sometimes it's the things you say, it's the things you do. Um, they avoid you. But Rodman was gonna get picked. I'm not gonna figure he's too black because he had impact. But there are people who get whiteballed. They're considered a problem. They express themselves. They doubt that they refuse to bow down to authority, i.e., David Stern, i.e., commissioners, and so cats hold that against them, and that's how they get a problem. Oh yeah, you know Dave Robinson could stand them because Dave Robinson was like, "Yes, man, yes, boss, yes." Well, Navy man, and they were like yin and yang together. But one thing is for sure, no one ever said he couldn't play. They just a matter what they could tolerate. He was too black when he was with the Lakers to a certain extent. Pop was the GM. And then he got the coaching job from Bob Hill when they got Duncan and all that. He stepped down. He, did that. Okay. I guess I can't really argue against that one. That's an interesting take. Can't say otherwise. Kareem was a interesting combination. Like a lot of cats, he liked the lifestyle and he wanted to not, dictate certain things. But he had crossover appeal to an extent. He played for the Lakers, so again, you got to be careful with some of these cats because some of these cats be, they play this role, but they role playing. Let's do a top 10 real quick since you asked. Let me go through my list. Let me see if I can make him top 10. Let's see what I got. Okay, give me just one moment. I'm gonna go look it up real quick. I have Red Auerbach, Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, Popovich. Four. Then I got I guess you got to put Steve Kerr in there. Then I got to put Lenny Wilkins. Then I got to put Larry Brown. That's 7. Hmm. Now, Spo's got him beat, but he's top 15. Jerry Sloan, yeah, that's 8. I think he'll get top 10, but I got 8 right there. And I'm trying to think of one more before because I don't want to forget nobody. I think I mentioned Lenny Wilkins. So Casey Jones would make my top 10. There you go. So there you go. No, heck no. Nope. 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 Rudy T's got them 2 beat. Even Doc Rivers got them 2 beat. Rick Carlisle got them beat too. Gotta have a ring. Sloan's the only one I put in my top 10 without a ring because he was a great coach. And I'll take Sloan over. I got Spo probably top 10. I mentioned 10 cats. So Chuck Daly would get close. Um, yeah, I know Chuck Daly. He, well, he went to 3 straight finals. He won 2, so I guess I can make Daly outside top 10. If I looked at Daly versus Spo, I'm taking Spo because Spo went to 2 more finals, minus having top tier guys. So it's tough to coach greatness, and then you coach guys that are a tier below. So Spo didn't already impress me. So yeah. But Daly's in the 11 to 15 slot for me. Yeah, he's a good coach. But he ain't in my argument for these guys, though. Dr. Jack Ramsey might get strong consideration too. See, I got to think. There's a lot of coaches that got to get consideration. But winning a ring don't always make you a great coach either. Because I don't put Frank Vogel or what's his butt who just got hired by Phoenix is in that argument. So no. Oh, top 10 college. So this is tough. Come on now. I mean, I got to say John Wooden and Krzyzewski and Dean Smith and Bobby Knight, who I begrudgingly want to see. You're making me say people I don't even want to talk about. Rick Pitino. Um, uh, 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 uh. If he don't get hurt up here, he wins. Nolan Richardson might get some consideration. But Donovan, I can't stand him as the NBA coach, but you got to give him his due back to back. And Hurley, that's 7. And Calipari and Syracuse coach, that's 9. See, I can name them when I start thinking like that. Rennie Missamino for Villanova gets it too. Yeah, but he was up here, with DeMarcus. Should have been a bigger version of Charles Barkley. Had crazy skills, could play. Was better than Anthony Davis too. Just didn't apply himself. Didn't finish. I take Boogie, but he didn't finish. When if you're talking based on talent or talking about on skill and what you do, it's night and day. He was better to me than Embiid, but he didn't finish better than Embiid. Embiid got the MVP. Embiid kept a job. Yeah, but you're going into a whole nother avenue. But yeah, sometimes when you mention some of these college coaches, I don't like them personally. So that's why I don't really want to talk about it, college basketball, football. Just to give you warning, not knock against you, but see, you made me have to go mention Bobby Knight and now Urban Myers, and I cringe. Yeah. His skill sets, but DeMarcus Cousins was a bad boy. I do believe if DeMarcus had applied himself and don't spaz out, he could take Embiid. I do. Because I put to you like this. If you put Embiid or DeMarcus on the Golden State Warriors, who do you think fits in better? Now let me ask you that question. You get Joel Embiid or DeMarcus Cousins with prime Steph and Clay. Who's gonna fit better? I'm taking DeMarcus. I'm taking DeMarcus. I'm sorry. Embiid doesn't show me enough. He injury prone. I just think he just doesn't have it. I think DeMarcus was just because he just went crazy. That's all. That's a funny line, yo. Crossroads. What, they like Bone Thugs and Harmony now? Please. Crossroads. More like end of the road. I'll say end of the road. Crossroads, the end of the road. Rashid, because he was tough and he could do something all those cats could do. And the other ones can't do what he could do. He was more versatile. He could pass, he could post, he could defend, inside out, could dunk, go to the hole. He could do all that. Now Webb had the best hands and had good passing skills. Zebo was physical. Kemp could hang in the air. I don't think that's the problem with Giannis. I think the problem is they just don't have no structure. There's no team there. His NBA career, I would say, his college career he was great, but his NBA career was kind of, I'd say, kind of. My problem with Giannis is that they just don't. They have no structure with the team. But we're gonna disagree about C Webb because I was a Michigan Wolverine fan. I saw him in DC, then I saw him with Sacramento, and he had one great moment in Sacramento. It didn't really manifest. And then he ended up with Philadelphia and nobody remembers. I don't want to call him overrated, but I can't say he was underrated either. So he's kind of like even kill. But I don't want to say, I'm not going to say he was over or under. For a year, and then what happened? But I was more scared of Bobby Jackson than I was him. But for a year he was. But then what happened? What happened to him? I think he was. I mean, he once he got to San Antonio, he came up big and he had some moments. It was good, but not no Hall of Fame bound. But he had some moments though. T Mac, Vince should have been better than all both of them. Though that's the one that got away. Spree, yes, yeah, I'm taking Spree. Yeah, Vince was for me. Yeah. And that's hard to say because it's tough to say because of Dr. J and David Thompson and Dominique Wilkins. Who Dominique was my favorite for a long time. Jordan, before people ask me, I thought his in game, his legs coordination was incredible, but I wasn't blown away by his dunks per se. I thought he was a great dunker and he is his impact, but I didn't sit there and think that I necessarily thought he was better than Dr. J. And I sure as heck didn't think he was better than Dominique Wilkins. But Vince comes along and I was like, wow, he was incredible. So probably the dunk on Mark Eaton. When he jumped over people, that was something else. Or the dunk on Patrick Ewing, which I liked a lot. That was cold. His dunks on folks was the ones that was sick. Yeah, there's a video of it. Because I think it was John Stock. There was somebody that popped off and said, won't you ever jump over somebody your size? And he got up. He got up. Oh, yeah, he get up. The thing that was impressed me about Jordan was his leg coordination. Hand-eye leg coordination. That was a thing. That was impressive. Yeah, I see it, Vince. For me, because that slam dunk contest, I had not seen anything like it, and I haven't seen anything like it since. And Vince is one of the most frustrating players I ever saw. Nah, you ain't gonna dunk on Shaq too much. No, the thing about Vince is that he just should have been a better player. Credible talent. So I got a few more minutes before I get ready to go. His old tomahawk dunks. I remember the game against the Celtics. I mean, he just when he would just implode. He just No one hit the dunks hard like Dominique, though. He had the hardest dunks I saw. Tomahawk was no joke. He rocked the rim. He just had a lot of strength and agility. Mm. My favorite one was that one against the Lakers with Paul Gasol, and I still remember Andrew Bonham's face was like Andrew Bonham looked at Blake like Anthony Davis looked at Jamal Murray when he dunked on LeBron. It was like crack me up, but Blake Blake, it was short lived. It was short lived, and he was soft too, so it just didn't really last long. He'd have figured it out. He'd have figured it out because he pick and pop once he started shooting. They have to come out on him. He'd figure it out. He'd have figured it out. If a guy can dominate in an era that was that physical and yet teams still could score, what do you think he gonna do with this little joke of a defense? Zone defense is a lazy man's way of hiding and keeping yourself covered. It's like keeping your hands in your pocket. He'd have figured it out. He says anything in hindsight. He's too competitive to tell you the truth. He'd have tore the league up. Everybody knows it too. But so would a Larry Bird too. Magic would have too. Charles Barkley would have been a beast too. A lot of them would have been putting up points. Karl Malone would have been scary in this era too. Isaiah Thomas would have been real. Zeke would have been real freaky now. Real freaky. So, but anyway, I just know what I remember. So, go by what I saw. All right, I got time for a couple more questions. If y'all gonna come with it tonight, see what you got. Got any questions? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. See, we working with. All right, I'll give it one more minute. It's been a good night though, so there was some good questions and good feedback, and glad to see people asking me different things. And again, I'll be back tomorrow. Appreciate everyone that came through, and stay safe, stay blessed, stay warm, stay cool, stay chill. Some good questions though. There was definitely some interesting takes though. Yeah, but Michael Jordan would have been all right though. Great ones always figured out. May take a little work, but they'll figure it out. I mean, like he ain't seen too many defenses. Just guys gonna be sagging in the cut. That's all. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna call it a night. Then I guess that's everything for this evening. Appreciate everybody that came through. Peace the best. Thank you again. Great questions, great topics. The next time I catch you, peace the best. I'm out.